Some breaking news. That is right. The Eagles have a new guy in town, and he will be looked upon immediately to make an impact. Also, more devastating injury news. And did A.J. Brown actually apologize? We'll take a look at something that nobody is revealing. All that and more coming up. What is up, everybody? Welcome into A to Z Philly. You know the drill. Hit the like, comment, subscribe down below, ring the bell. Don't miss any of the coverage. Eagles coming off a weekend where they got the chill. They're sitting at 2-0. Couple crazy games this weekend, including in their division. Right now, the NFC East looking a lot better, but we are looking towards next week as the Eagles prepare for the Bucs. And I have a question out there for the people. This kind of via Chris Long. I'll steal it from him a little bit, but he says that DeAndre Swift is the coolest looking Eagle of all time. That effing number 0, the visor, it's incredible. It looked great. What do you guys think? Is DeAndre Swift the coolest looking Eagle in a very long time? Give me your thoughts on that down below. Also, I just want to remind people again, Jalen Carter is an absolute monster. Most pressures in the NFL among defensive tackles after 2 weeks. Are we stamping this guy's trip to the All-Star already, or to the All-Pro team? Are we stamping Jalen Carter after just 2 weeks? Is he going to be that good in his rookie year? Give me your thoughts down below. Before we get into all of the main news, though, a quick shout out to our sponsor of today's video, BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code ATOZPA and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. So find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Of really good game coming on tonight with the Saints and the Panthers. Why not go and get some bonus bets? I was using BetMGM this weekend, and I was able to cash in on a few, especially last night, thanks to the Dolphins. But let's hop into the Eagle news. So Nick Sirianni with an update on some of the players who were out this past week. He says that James Bradberry, Kenny Gainwell, and Reed Blankenship all have a chance to play Monday night. If I had to predict, I would say that Kenny Gainwell and Blankenship most likely play. They had the bruised ribs, and then James Bradberry's up in the air with a concussion. However, one guy that will not be playing, not only this week, but the rest of the year, and it's very unfortunate, is Avonte Maddox. We talked about it the other day. It wasn't confirmed. He went to get a second opinion, but he will have surgery this week to repair a torn pec. Sources say after an MRI and additional opinions, the injury will keep him out indefinitely, potentially for the entire season. I feel like Avonte, I'm trying to think back. I know he's had like 3 or 4 injuries. Didn't he have this same injury before? I know he had one that kept him out a whole year. It's just unfortunate, man. Avonte, I would say, is probably in the top third of nickel corners in the league. He's consistent. He's always there, but he's never healthy, and, you know, it just continues to add up year after year. Eventually, the Eagles are going to have to make a decision on this guy. Maybe going into next year and people aren't going to like it, but he just is not reliable to stay on the field. It sucks. He's a great locker room guy, but the Eagles will be without Maddox, so they have things to figure out in terms of who they're going to move in full-time into the slot corner role. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But they also made a signing today. That's right. The Eagles have a new guy in town, and his name is Braden Mann. Now, that might sound familiar to you. A couple weeks ago, we brought this guy up when the Eagles were working out punters during training camp. There was about 2 or 3 of them, and one of them was Braden Mann, who they had tried to go out and work out. He was a member of the Steelers practice squad, but he didn't end up signing with anybody, and the Eagles signed him to their practice squad today, and what do you know? They release Aaron Sitbas. So say goodbye. He's finally gone. And here Ruben Frank puts the stats on Twitter. Braden Mann, their new punter, averaged 45.4 yards per punt with the Jets from 2020 to 2022 with a 39.3 net. And Sitbas averaged 44.6 yards per punt with a 38.7 net in his career. So very similar. Braden Mann, however, is only 25 years old. He's a former 6th-round pick back with the Jets in 2020. and he spent 3 years with them. Then he was signed to the Steelers practice squad, and he ended up getting cut, didn't make the team. And that's where the Eagles and a couple other teams were working him out. And here he is, right? There's a reason he was a free agent, but I will say this. A lot of these punters, a lot of these kickers have short shelf lives. They're always bouncing around. And there's a weird thing with Eagles punters and kickers, you know, especially over the last however long I can remember. It always seems that they have a really good year, especially the punters, and then they end up stinking up the joint. I don't understand. Like, what happens to these guys? What happens? Especially Sipas, right? His first year, 2021, you know, he comes over from Australia and he ended up going to college at Auburn, and the Eagles selected him. He was great. And then he falls off last year and you know, kind of hurt the team, especially in the Super Bowl. And that's what everybody remembers. And then, you know, going into this year, he just hasn't been too good so far. I think he's, you know, I don't know what he's averaging, but probably like 30, 40 yards a punt. It's like, I don't know what happened, but the difference between Braden Mann and Aaron Sipas is that Sipas is 30 years old, right? He got a late start jumping into the NFL, whereas Braden Mann, even though he was on a practice squad, he's only 25. So maybe coming into a better environment and having more opportunity and being with a better team will serve him well. What I do know is that everybody should be thankful that the Eagles have one of the two solved. You know, they don't even have to think twice or worry about that, and that's at the kicker position. There's a handful of kickers in this league who are just reliable, consistent, and you just don't have to even sweat about it, and that is Jake Elliott. He has been amazing so far. So the Eagles just have to figure out this punter situation, probably the punt returner situation as well. And right now, you know, they get rid of Aaron Sipas. So here you go. New guy in town. We'll see what he can do. And we'll see how he performs this upcoming week. Hopefully he can fulfill the shoes and, you know, live up to the hype. Braden Mann, a Philadelphia Eagle. Lastly, I want to talk about A.J. Brown because everybody keeps talking about this moment where he was on the sideline with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni stepped in. People are blowing this way out of proportion, okay? In the post-game show, I said that if A.J. Brown was truly frustrated, right, and he was making it about himself, yes, I would be mad. I would be mad. But again, it's all the competitive nature and the competitive spirit. He wants to win. He wants to be a part of this team. And last year, one special thing about this Eagles team, obviously they were really good, but they didn't have a lot of ego. So I don't want A.J. Brown bringing that into this team, but nothing ever materialized after that game. It's not like they came out and said he was being a problem and this and that. They said it was fine. Jalen Hurts said he was a great friend. Devontae Smith said he was a warrior, competitor. Jason Kelce said he was fine. I don't get why people are still talking about this. Anyway, Nick Sirianni had to address it once again, and he said today that as far as receivers have, in terms of frustrations and expressing them, he's been around a lot of them, and A.J. Brown's frustration was only a, quote, 2 out of 10 and not a big deal. Eagle players know they have to sacrifice for the team. What happened was the Vikings secondary stinks, and A.J. Brown said, yo, I got a matchup here. Feed it to me. Obviously, the Eagles were winning, so maybe he shouldn't have said that, but it was just the frustration. And if you've ever played a sport, you know, if you have a favorable matchup, you know, you want the ball, man. You want it in your hand. So I don't know why everybody continues to overreact about this. I like it, man. AJ's hungry. He wants to go out there and feast for 150 and 2 touchdowns. So I'm not mad at all. All his teammates came out and backed him up. And at the end of the day, if you are still overreacting about this, you need to shut up at this point and let it go. AJ is here. He's shown no ego at all during his time. Give him the benefit of the doubt. He will be absolutely fine. And here's a little clip posted by Eagle Nation on Twitter. And, you know, shout out to Agent Zero here. Nobody ever posted this angle. They keep posting the little clip of them arguing. How about this? AJ Brown walking off after the game. He puts up the little chirp symbol and taps his chest like, my bad. My bad. Why don't they show that? Why don't they show that? Oh, because it doesn't fit into the narrative. So at the end of the day, A.J. Brown is perfectly fine. He's going to go out here this next week. Jalen's going to connect with him. He's going to find 100 yards. Watch how he does it, right? He probably should have had 2 touchdowns if the refs would have called a pass interference or if the guy didn't end up holding. So A.J.'s going to be just fine. I am not concerned in the slightest. Those are my thoughts, though. Give me all of yours down below in the comments section. As always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Big game coming up this week, 2-0 versus 2-0. We'll see how it plays out. That being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.